Hey, welcome back. It's Ben Fuller with Howard Hanna William E. Wood. Today we're going to talk about actually writing your offer. Now, here's the typical situation. We've been out shopping and shopping. We've looked at lots of homes. You've made your comparisons, and you've decided to choose one that actually meets your wants and your needs. Now, to write the offer, we have some questions and some decisions to make. For instance, right off the bat, do you have enough ready cash to pay for your own closing costs? Closing costs typically range between 3 and 4% of the final sales price. What about your down payment? Your down payment is actually determined by your lender depending upon the loan type that you have. VA loans, for instance, typically have no down payment. But your closing costs are typically paid, if possible, by the seller in this market, and your realtor, that would be me, will write this into your offer as one of the many elements. So we need to know if you have enough money for your own closing costs, or do we need to ask for some? Next element is the home inspection. Do you want a home inspection? As far as I'm concerned, you do. Every home that I sell, I really encourage all my buyers to have a home inspection, no matter what they think the condition of the home might be. It's kind of like buying a car without taking it for a test drive. The other element is, when would you like to close? Closing can have a value. You know, if the seller is looking for a quick close, but you want to wait a couple of months because of kids going to school, job transfer, renting, and so forth. So it's an element of the contract, and we need to know, when would you like to close? And what about repairs? This is kind of separate from the home inspection. These are the obvious things. You know, you walk through the front door and there's a big hole in the floor, or you notice there's a broken window, or perhaps the roof needs to be repaired or replaced. Again, this is an element of our offer and will have a value. So now we get to writing the offer and trying to come up with a price. Where do we do that? How do we determine a good price? Well, the first stop, of course, you can always go to the internet and get a Zillow estimate, or you can talk to some neighbors, and they're always willing to give you a price. They may have good intentions, but it may not be accurate. And we need to determine price versus value. There are many elements to a home that actually don't have a real price tag on them that may be very important to you as a buyer. For instance, where's the house located? You know, does it back up to, let's say, railroad tracks? Maybe it backs up to a commercial area. Is that okay? Do you think that has an effect on your value and how you're going to live in that neighborhood? Would you prefer streets that have mature trees, sidewalks, curbing? Parking in an urban environment? You know, where are you going to park? Do you need a garage? Things of that nature all need to be considered when determining a value. There's always help out there, of course. You know, there are all those internet shows. Again, Flip It or Flop It. My brother's cousin's a Flipper Flopper, whatever. Please keep in mind that those shows are there to sell products, marketing, and so forth, and they truly are not accurate and shouldn't be used as a guide to determine how much it's going to cost to make a repair or anything. Our offer ends up being about 34 pages when we include everything and so forth, but right there on the front page of our offer has to be a price, and we need to determine that. To do that, we're going to look at all the comparables, the other homes that have sold and are currently on the market within the neighborhood, that are similar in size, style, condition. Once we have that and all the other elements, then we get to start writing up your offer. Oftentimes, though, I find buyers want a deal. Well, everybody would like a deal, but we need to be careful here. If somebody says, I will never ever pay full price, they may end up with a rejected offer. What if the price of the home is accurate? What if it's been valued right at market value? Maybe the seller knows the market and they want to get rid of it very quickly. So again, that's where I come in. As your realtor, We're going to look at the values of properties in the area. We're going to look at when you want to close. We're going to look at how much money you have for down payment, closing costs, etc., and repairs. We're going to put that all together and come up with an offered price. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you really want a home and it has a list price of $200,000. We do our analysis and we see that the home sits in a neighborhood with similar values between $200,000 and $225,000. You want a deal, so you want to offer $180,000. You also want $6,000 in closing cost assistance. That's fair. And you want a new roof. Well, that's another $4,000. And you want to postpone closing for 2 months for whatever reason, job, renting, and so forth. So when we do the math, we find that we have really offered $166,000 on a $200,000 home. So we need to be careful. We need to be ethical, and let's try to give the sellers what they want and make sure that we ask for what you need. There are many times that getting the home that meets your needs at a price that you can afford really is a deal. Thanks. If you have any questions, give us a call. Stay tuned for the next videos.